I have gone through significant weight loss and lost almost 100 pounds in the last year. I am a mother of three and experienced a major life event that motivated me to change every aspect of my life. I am only 28, but I have always been a larger person. I weighed 260 pounds when I started my journey, and now I have loose skin. This loose skin adds to the appearance of my previous weight, and I worry that while I may look attractive in clothes, men might find the extra flabby skin unattractive once my clothes come off. I am still just as self-conscious without clothes as I have been for most of my life. Story 1. To be honest, some guys will be thrown off, but that's not the guy you want. My wife was burned on her midsection front and back as a child during a house fire. The scars are deep and large. She was terrified of letting me touch her in the early days of dating and was certain never to show me her body when it came to sex the first time. She was literally trembling that first night. She told me her story, and I said I didn't care. She took her clothes off and started crying because she thought I would be disgusted or leave. I saw the scars and the person who exposed her deepest fear to me. She is, and always will be, the most beautiful person in the world to me because I am the only man who really knows who she is and what she has been through to finally love little old me. Her body tells a story of strength, just like yours does of losing weight and getting healthy. Not one thing to be ashamed of. It tells me you and my wife are both strong women, especially you being a mother of three. The guy who sees your beauty on the outside and, more importantly, on the inside, that's the one you want. He's the person you will spend your life with. Yes, that sounds like nonsense, but why does everyone's grandpa still love grandma? Because she is still beautiful to him. I should know because my wife and I are rapidly approaching that age, and after 36 years, she is still beautiful to me. If some man can't accept your life story, visually or otherwise, then he's not the one. Move on. Don't worry. Find a man who loves the beauty that is in you. Story 2. Congratulations on the weight loss. Tell the gentleman about that journey and let him know where you are with your own level of comfort with your body. It will sort itself out. Story 3. As a man experiencing massive weight loss due to bariatric surgery and dealing with loose skin, I totally understand your concerns. But as others have said, the right man will not care. Congratulations on your weight loss. I know how hard it can be. Story 4. The turn-off usually comes when it is a surprise. Be honest and upfront, and you can filter the men who have a problem with it early. Story 5. It depends on how much loose skin there is. I have seen people of both genders who look terrible, but those usually have lost a lot more than 100 pounds. Ultimately, it comes down to this. If you are merely somewhat flabby, it should not be too much of an issue, but if it is like this woman who lost over 200 pounds, it probably will be. Story 6. Sounds like you want honest opinions. I am going to give you what you are asking for. It may get downvotes because people cannot handle opinions that clash with their personal sense of justice, even though this is a solicited opinion. Anyway, here goes. Loose, extra skin can be unappealing, but it depends on how much. Some, especially as we age, is not much to get worked up over. In my opinion, it is a gradual scale. That said, I would rather have the more extreme side of that next to me in bed than morbid obesity any day of the week. Original poster. Consider having the extra skin removed. It seems like you are pretty self-conscious about it. If that is the case, do something about it just like you did with your weight. Speaking of your weight, great job. You should be very proud of yourself. Do not let extra skin detract from your accomplishment. There are usually some downsides that accompany all major accomplishments. Just keep your focus on this huge win. The downsides can be addressed or not at a time convenient for you. Story 7. If it is not very loose and dangling, it is most likely able to be overlooked. Having 3 children is probably more of a turn-off than this loose skin. Story 8. I know you're asking men for their opinion, and I hope you get the validation you deserve. As a woman who lost 165 pounds and went from 295 to 130, I had significant loose skin. The right man won't care and will love you for who you are. If he does care, there is a good chance he's just in it for the sex, which is not inherently bad if that's what you're after, too. I ultimately saved up enough money to get most of the loose skin removed. I did it for me, though, My boyfriend at the time didn't care and was fine either way. The relationship didn't last, but the breakup had nothing to do with my body or its attractiveness to him. But now, instead of loose skin, I have some anxiety over the significant scars I have from the plastic surgery. My current boyfriend doesn't care about them either. I think it's hard to be truly happy with your body when there's so much societal pressure. Story 9. The right person will not care. There are many people out there. If you want to build some self-esteem, consider visiting a nudist resort. You will be free to be seen without judgment. Story 10. I suggest letting him know in advance so it does not come as a shock when he undresses you. Story 11. You do not want to be with someone who is turned off by any aspect of your body, or you will never feel safe and secure. Story 12. There are options to remove the skin. Insanely good job on the weight loss, but loose skin for me is a big turn-off, to the extent that I would prefer a larger woman than a smaller one with loose skin. I contemplated not posting this because it sounds harsh to say to someone who has made progress on themselves. I only posted to give you an honest answer, because an echo chamber does no good. I wish you all the success in the world. Story 13. Baby, I promise you those kids are more of a turn-off than your skin would ever be. I have hidradenitis suppurativa and acne scars extremely bad and a baby, and every guy I have messed with has been more turned off by the kid than my skin. Very few were turned off by my kid, if that helps any. Story 14. In general, the negative reaction comes from surprise. If the person already knows about it, the reaction will be much better. If the reaction is still negative, you probably did not want to be in a relationship with them in the first place. I hope this helps. Story 15. If we got that far, I have already decided I like you, so some minor thing like that is not going to matter. You are working on yourself and keeping healthy, which is definitely a positive. Story 16. Let's be honest, your 260-pound body is much more of a turn-off than your 160-pound post-weight loss body. I went through a phase where I gained about 50 pounds in a few months. I had large red stretch marks all over my belly. That was a few years ago, and I've gotten into decent shape, lost those 50 pounds and a few more. But those stretch marks are still there, and I believe they will be forever. No way would I rather be the bigger version of myself than the improved version. You're doing great. Be proud. Story 17. How much of a turnoff is loose skin on men? Visit a men's locker room sometime and see our saga skin and folds. Story 18. Any real man will find you attractive because of the effort you put into your life. The fact that you actually make an effort to change makes you more desirable than 90% of women out there. Your journey shows that you understand the importance of working hard to achieve your goals. You are not going to get anywhere by being passive. Sure, having loose skin means you might not be on the front cover of magazines, but most men want to come home to a nice meal and someone who is genuinely excited to see them. The beauty industry creates insecurity to sell products, and it works. Do not listen to the media. You are probably an amazing woman. Own it. Stay golden. Story 19. Loose skin or side effect from Ozempic. I noticed that big women who have lost weight look different depending on how the weight was lost. I love women of all sizes, but a big woman who lost weight with Ozempic does not have the same appearance as a natural big woman or one who lost weight by working out. Story 20. In my mind, it is a turn on. What do guys want from women with curves? No one is ever happy. Do they want you to remain unhealthy or work on yourself? Because I will tell you this. Loose skin is a badge of honor for the battles we fought through. Wear it with confidence and let those who do not deserve you fall behind. You will find a man who is worthy of your time. Story 21. I have never judged a woman who was willing to be that vulnerable with me. All women are beautiful in their own way. Story 22. Well done on the weight loss. For me personally, what you are describing is a red line, and I would never get to the point of clothes coming off. The loss of 100 pounds is easy to tell even when dressed. There are those who are not bothered by that, as evidenced by the fact you have 3 children. Story 23. Loose skin is not a turn-off to the kind of man who truly matters. It simply shows how far you have come, and the right person will not see it as a flaw at all. Story 24. What is a turnoff is when you are too worried about your loose skin to enjoy the sex. Once you are there and naked, forget about it. Story 25. Honestly, no. There are some men who will care, but that's really not the market you want to target, and you'll probably know in advance if they are that kind of guy. I would say about 90% of the women I have met have unusual bodies in the bedroom in one way or another. Not in a bad way, but more like, oh, I did not expect to see that. I have never made a big deal about it, and honestly, I do not really care. If you have made it that far, then chances are you have had to put more effort into developing a personality than being good-looking. Good-looking women are everywhere, but women with personalities are much rarer. My advice is to be upfront about it and work on being comfortable with an aspect of your body you cannot change. How you operate in a bedroom situation and how confidently you project yourself is infinitely more appealing than how you look. I would suggest it makes up about 70% of the appeal. Story 26. Congratulations on the weight loss journey. Admittedly, I personally find a lot of loose skin unattractive, even though I like plus-size women and have no problem with stretch marks. However, not everyone is the same, and I am sure other men would accept you. It is best that you let whoever you are interested in know. Story 27. Depending on how bad it is probably a 3 out of 10 in terms of severity. A 10 out of 10 would be a big deal. I am sure you look a lot better with the loose skin than with the extra weight, and that will by far outweigh the drawbacks. Story 28. I would not care about it being someone's turn-off. There is a lot more to life than being with someone. The right person will love you for who you are, not the superficial stuff. Love life, travel, and be proud of yourself for losing the weight. Story 29. It varies from person to person. I would be considered a gym brother. I work out 5 to 6 days a week, watch what I eat to maintain my physique, and it does not bother me. We all have our imperfections. I actually find the imperfections on a woman to be more attractive than a perfectly sculpted body. Story 30. This will really depend on the person, but it will be a big turnoff for many men. I do not want to lie and say everyone loves loose skin. Some men strongly dislike it, just as many women are not attracted to overweight men. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I believe you will find someone who loves you for who you are, rather than an idealized version of yourself. There is nothing wrong with you. In fact, it shows that you worked hard to get where you are. Story 31. I think I speak for all decent men when I say if it is a result of your hard work and improving yourself to be healthier, then that is all that matters. Story 32. To be fair, just the fact that you had a strong enough ambition to better yourself was already impressive. Not many people can do what you have done. Well done. Go for those who are willing to look beyond superficial things. Story 33. I dated a girl who went through a similar experience and had loose skin in some places. By the time clothes were off, it was not an issue because the clothes were off and I was very happy about that. Story 34. First of all, congratulations on the weight loss. It can be a really difficult challenge for many people, and you should be immensely proud of how much progress you have made. To answer your question, it varies from person to person. Some people are okay with a little, a lot, or not at all. The people who are turned off by the amount you have are just not for you. There are definitely men out there who have no issue with loose skin and will appreciate you for who you are and the hard work and determination you have put in to get to where you are. Story 35. I lost 50 pounds, and I am doing my best to maintain it. I would be a real hypocrite to judge a woman for accomplishing something so difficult that I can relate to. Story 36. Hi there. I am a woman lurking, sorry. However, I can shed some light here. I was 145 kilograms at my biggest and have currently lost 57 kilograms. Still a way to go, but I am getting there. My boyfriend has been with me through all of it, and I can assure you he has not cared one single bit. In fact, what you have done is incredible and so impressive. We are also our own worst critics. My current weight is someone else's nightmare, but what I see is a strong, slim woman working on herself. Confidence is sexy, so embrace your loss and the right one will not care. Story 37. It is a major turnoff. I will ghost afterwards, no matter how much I like her. Now, I ask about weight loss and even check arms for loose skin before becoming intimate. Story 38. First off, congratulations on your accomplishment. I genuinely hope the catalyst was not too painful. To answer your question personally, once I am there, I am not likely to care. I am not exactly perfect myself. To be honest, it is not likely to influence my return either. That would mostly be based on our connection. However, that is only my opinion. Story 39. I have lost over 130 pounds in the last couple of years. I was 300 pounds and now weigh between 160 and 170 pounds, and I am only 5 feet 2 inches tall. My confidence now, somehow in my mind, overcomes most of my insecurities. What really helps me is CrossFit. I am new to it. This is my 7th week. I also tan whenever I get the chance. It is controversial, but definitely helps with serotonin. Story 40. The American philosopher Cat Williams addressed this almost 20 years ago. Story 41. Some will not care, some will care a lot. Some will say they do not care when they do care. Many adults have found gentle ways to prioritize everyone's comfort in this situation, like the avert your gaze method, dim lighting, lingerie and costume, and stretch fabrics that makes them feel more confident. We all have things we feel self-conscious about, like metal fillings or hair loss. It is about doing things that create comfort and good experiences for everyone involved. To an extent, it is also about not being pushy or rude, such as knowing you need to cut your toenails but still hopping into bed with those claws. Story 42. I hate that this post is late, but it's not a big deal. My girlfriend was always a big girl and is now skinnier than she was 7 years ago. Still decently big. But now that she has lost 100 pounds, only now does she hate herself and her body. She won't have sex with me or let me see her naked. But I still want to. I had a sexy dad bod when I met her, but now I'm all fat and gross. Maybe she would like my old body more, but she isn't disgusted by me, and I'm not disgusted by her. She just can't see that. I started posting pictures of my body, and I had to learn to accept what I have, what's good about it. While hot young guys with big bodies got all the attention, people really loved mine too. Some of the same people who were looking at perfect bodies liked me. It's not universal love, and I don't feel fetishized either, but some people absolutely love your body. I know that. Not because you are one shape or another. They will just see you and say, damn, it's human to want everyone to feel that way and get all the attention. But there is definitely quality love for everyone. Story 43. As always with these types of questions, if they have gotten close enough to find that out, they are beyond the point of caring about it. Story 44. The right person will absolutely care because they will be impressed by the journey you have gone through and what that loose skin actually means. However, I would probably be too busy appreciating all your lovely features. A woman has no unpleasant parts. Thank you very much. To care too much until I hear your story. Since you feel a bit uncomfortable about it yourself, as indicated by your post on Reddit, let him know the story before the clothes come off. That way, the right person will be even more supportive. Never forget that it is a privilege to be introduced to your natural self. Story 45. Never once. The second you make sure a woman knows you do not care, she lets go and it is perfect. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.